Well, I'm sure you guys have heard about this plane crash in San Diego. Kind of reminded me when I first heard about it. I was like, oh man, I remember when my mom had visions and dreams of fireballs falling out of the sky in San Diego when she lived there with my dad. And I think she was pregnant with me at the time. My sister was already born. And she was getting so terrified, she told my dad, we have to move out of this apartment complex. And if you don't, it got to the point where she's like, if you don't get us out of here, I'm leaving by myself. All right, we'll move to another apartment complex. So they moved not too far away, and then a large plane and a small plane collided over the old apartment complex she lived in. They lived in, and fireballs out of the sky were falling out, falling down, and there's old pictures even online I found, and they were Charlie bothering the cat. They yeah, go ahead. So the pictures had like a big, jet engines, commercial jet engine sitting in the grass next to the apartment. My mom's like, "You see that one right there? Yeah, that's where we lived." Oh my god, it was in the right there in the background. She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Holy cow!" So, kind of reminded me of that hearing about this latest plane crash. But the one that just happened recently, was like a music executive. He was also a pilot, a flight instructor, ground instructor. He owned the plane. He was on the plane. I'm assuming he was probably piloting it, but they don't know for sure yet. The interesting thing, okay, so they were going from Kansas City, I think, or somewhere in Kansas to San Diego. And, they're like, oh, there was fog and blah, blah, blah. But if you're flying in a Citation jet, which it was, number one, you're going to be an IFR rated pilot, period. And if he's a flight instructor and a ground instructor, like this guy absolutely is an IFR rated pilot. So VFR, IFR, I'm VFR. I never went for IFR. You got to get a clearance to fly. You submit a flight plan, and you know, you're going to be talking to different towers along the way, basically. And they're gonna, as soon as one hands you off to the other, you keep going. You check in. Hey, so November 1 2 3 4, Bravo, whatever, checking in. Blah, blah, yep, okay, and off you go. Autopilot's on. Pretty uneventful. And so chances that, now that it's possible he went VFR, because you can switch to VFR and during your IFR flight say, hey, I want to go VFR for the remainder of the flight. Boom. They hand you off to nobody at that point, to yourself really, and off you go. But you have to be visually aware of what's happening. You can't fly through clouds. You can't fly through fog. I would assume it would have easily been known, the weather conditions. I don't think a controller would have handed him off like, yeah, go ahead and go VFR through fog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm assuming, there are some assumptions. I'm assuming it was an IFR flight, and it probably remained an IFR flight. You typically would in a Citation anyways, but, nice flat, fast, pretty fast aircraft. So the N number on this plane, November 666 DS, deep state, right? 666 DS is the November or N number. Pretty weird coincidence. And it crashed in a heavily lived in by military people area of San Diego. Like, everybody in this neighborhood is just damn near everybody is like a military kind of person. Now, do I think the pilot did a kamikaze? No. But is it possible that the plane got controlled some other way? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, well, you're a record executive, the Epstein stuff, the Diddy stuff. Yeah, we kind of need to get rid of you right now. Because he had a record label with some, I think Hanson was on there. Remember those guys? And a few others that are notable. And again, we know how that industry is. So maybe it was like, yeah, we're going to kind of do a favor here to the deep state. November 666 deep state, DS. Like, sometimes you just have to say, man, you can't make this up. Again, I don't think the guy crashed the plane like on purpose. Oh, kamikaze! It was a foreigner. You know, Chinese national came over and crashed into a military place. Okay, now we're talking potential terrorism. You know, by the person. In this case, you know, again, easily able to, you know, planes, we've already seen it. They can be remote controlled, especially a higher end plane, you know, with the avionics that thing would have had, the flight control system, like the autopilot and stuff. I mean, again, so, I don't know. I'm just pretty damn strange. Worth doing a video about. And that's all I got to say about that.